Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you very much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Happy, what is it today? Tuesday? Feels like a weird day with the market being where it's at right now, right? But yeah, again, CPI data came out today. Prices shot up. They've since retraced pretty significantly. We want to see if this is going to sustain itself. And then furthermore, also understand that FOMC is tomorrow. So interest rates, if we have further inflation, that will cause that knee-jerk reaction for the price to come down. So just keep in mind there's some things that are still unsettled yet, but for now, this is positive. We want to celebrate that, and hopefully you've taken some profits if you had an open trade, because of the fact that we don't truly know this time tomorrow if we're going to see the same price point or if it's going to be higher or lower. And this is what we're going to try to take a look at here. So if you are new to the channel, just know, not a financial advisor, love to teach people to trade. Hope you can learn something here today. If you want to become a better trader, join my trading community. We have phenomenal traders here killing it with a lot of Ethereum longs, FTM long, as well as even some shorts here for Zilliqa, for Zach. So these guys are just doing awesome. Super proud of my community. So keep up the great work, y'all. I really appreciate just how awesome you are and how you kind of band together and effectively help each other out. It's awesome. And they're obviously, if you're not familiar with that, they're using Bitget as an exchange, which is my favorite exchange. They offered a $10,000 prize pool monthly, so if you use my link in the description below, you can have the opportunity to be able to register for that, of course, and just be automatically enrolled in that opportunity every single month. And what it is it's based on trading volume and profit and loss ratio. So there's a lot of benefits that you can see there just from using the best exchange in the country or world, depending on where you're at. Future reference, you will need a VPN if you are in a restricted state, so make sure you select other when you register, and of course use a VPN. Link in the description below. I have instructions on that as well if you're curious how to register for Bitget. All right, so here's the thing with Ethereum. Obviously doing very well. We broke through this resistance level here at about 1307 or 1308 is a round number. So if you round up, 1308 is essentially the resistance level that we saw for the recent price action. It tried it multiple times and couldn't break through. Now it's broken through, so we can assume that might be a new support level. And I say might because, again, tomorrow FOMC, that could totally upset the whole thing, hit the big old reset button. We should expect to see a candle wick like this, if not more aggressive tomorrow. Okay, either to the upside or the downside, there's going to be a lot of liquidation hunts. It happens all the time. So try to be mindful of that, and maybe best practice is to kind of stay on the sidelines. Sometimes it's best to just kind of wait that out. I know there's a lot of opportunities missed, but there's also a lot of liquidation that's missed too, and you're probably in a better situation than not to just kind of avoid it altogether. Okay? Again, different strokes for different folks. When it comes to the RSI, though, we are over 50. That's a positive sign, so we can expect Ethereum to effectively remain bullish. That's the overall sentiment. Again, it's not definitive yet. We want to wait for tomorrow and then kind of go from there. But it's generally speaking, that's where we're at for the moment. Taking a look at the MACD as well, it was diverging for some time. Now we're starting to get a slight convergence, so that's a very positive sign as well. If we take a look at the moving averages, this is very similar to Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin is hugging the 20-day set moving average, also testing and getting rejected by the 50-day SMA. I personally feel that we're going to have some difficulty staying above the 50-day SMA, so we'll see here soon what that entails, but just know it's a common rejection point, and it's very, very standard for the price action to get rejected at the 50. Okay. So again, in its history, Ethereum has had difficulty breaking above the 50-day SMA. Okay. When it does so very strong, but again, a lot of things will bring it right back down. So just bear that in mind. 50-day SMA is notoriously a strong resistance level. Obviously, the 200 is a different story. That's even stronger of a resistance level. So just note that it's going to be difficult to break through the 1400 range with Ethereum in the immediate future. If we get a candle wick up to the 1400 range tomorrow, that's a strong, strong short signal. Okay, just because of the natural pullback of what's going to happen. All right, so that's kind of where we're at there on the daily, mostly positive. So let's take a look at the 4-hour here. Excuse me. So we're above all moving averages. That's positive. We want to note that is good. We're above above 50 on the RSI and below 70. Also good. We're not super overextended like Bitcoin is right now. Okay, so even though that is the case, we can expect Ethereum to effectively be in a situation where it'll probably retrace in the near future. What I mean by that is, we could very well see it hold right here and continue higher. That's a very possibility. But with FOMC tomorrow, there's a great chance we're going to see some really obnoxious candlesticks. So just be ready for that. But at this point, we are essentially getting closer to an overextension here because we've been on the uptrend for at least 48 hours, or at least very, very close to that. Okay. So again, 7 4-hour candlesticks, we're essentially been bullish. So That being said, we can expect maybe 8 more hours of sideways action, followed by either retracement or consolidation. Okay, so again, those are things that usually should happen. Is it going to happen? Hard to say. There's no guarantees at this point. It's kind of difficult the way things are shaping up. But the bottom line is we're absolutely bullish on the shorter term time frames, or at least the midterm here with the 4 hour, absolutely giving us bullish signals. But it doesn't mean you want to go long because of that. Just bear that in mind. We are absolutely overextended. Yes, tomorrow could be positive news. It could keep going up. You could, you could luck out, but that's really all it is right now is luck, because no one knows exactly what's going to be baked into the actual announcement tomorrow of inflation. Okay, so bear that in mind. All right, so that's kind of where we're at for the 4 hour. Again, daily is positive, 4 hours positive in that sense. What's the hourly tell us? Well, the hourly is interesting because if you take a look at traditional markets, just say NASDAQ, for example, it shot up as soon as the minutes came out, the CPI data, essentially, and then it effectively shot down. Not quite as quick, but it's absolutely just as much. So even though we're up by 1%, it's still not fantastic, because even though pre-market was good, the regular market hours are pretty much abysmal in my opinion. And if you see that and you communicate that with Ethereum, you can see here that it's absolutely working its way into the support level here to potentially bounce at that 1310, 1308 range. But once again, we could very well see further retracement because it hasn't corrected itself as much as traditional markets. Right, so if the traditional markets later today closes positively, we might see this be able to sustain itself until tomorrow. If we get some funky behavior later, of course, with post-market hours and traditional markets, we're going to see a whole other story. Again, these are all hypotheticals we don't have answers to, but what the data is telling us here is that it was overextended here recently, and it's coming back down to hit that common ground, which is a previous resistance level at 1310. So right at this range here, again, round number 1310, you can make it simple. That is essentially where we can see the price action likely hold as a support. Tomorrow might be a different story altogether. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Taking a look at Ishimoku Cloud, probably the same story as Bitcoin, which it is. Lagging spans free and clear, conversion lines above the baseline, and we of course are consolidating above the cloud. So mostly good stuff here. You got a long position open, pretty much want to keep it open, but you should have honestly taken some profits by now. What I mean by that is just say hypothetically you'd gotten in around the 1260 range. You could have been upwards of 5 or 6% profit on that trade, and of course 10x is 50 to 60%. So why not take 65, 75% of your overall portfolio and cash it out and let the rest ride and adjust your stop loss to break even. Price comes back down, you're still profitable at the end of the day. Right, there's different strategies you want to apply, but those are things I like to do, and that's what our community is doing too, and it's really nice to kind of see people secure profits while they still can, because there's no guarantees this is going to sustain itself here. We've already identified that we got a strong resistance area at 1400. If the price keeps up a little bit further, to say tomorrow it shoots up to that level, I'm going to be on the lookout for a short position if we hit 1400 for Ethereum. Okay, so again, something to kind of pay attention to, because again, those are areas in which we see strong resistance levels. Okay, so when it comes to something like this, right now, yes, it's all well and good. We're looking pretty decent on most time frames, but there's no doubt that tomorrow will absolutely shift things in different directions. So just be mindful of that going into it. So that being said, we're not in dire straits. We're not in great shape either. Okay, keep that in mind. This is the first breakout we've seen in roughly 2 weeks of sideways action. So let's try not to get ahead of ourselves. Keep a good, cool head on your shoulders. We close above 1310 today. That would be a positive sign, I think. But again, it doesn't matter how positive that sign is when FOMC comes up tomorrow. A lot of crazy, weird stuff happens when that occurs. So please just be mindful and careful going into tomorrow's trading day. That being said, that's pretty much the extent of this here. Mostly positive for Ethereum. Closure above 1310 would signify potential sideways or further upside. If we get a closure below 1310 though, there's a great chance we'll see further retracement down to break below this ascending trend. Because again, you can only ascend through a trend line so many times, right? We've got a lot of higher lows here, which is positive, but we're due for a lower low, and it just makes sense for it to happen in the relative near future. All right, hopefully that made sense to you, and I'm sorry if this seems like not, kind of a, not. I don't want to be morose here or kind of make you feel like it's terrible. This is very positive in the overall sense of things. Just, there's so much fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the market right now, especially with BNB and all that stuff going on right now. So I would just, it feels like a lot of those things are going to come to a head, and we're going to see some kind of weird ripple here soon. So Good luck. No pun intended with that one, by the way. And I hope that you learned something. If you want to become a better trader, again, cryptocash.tech is a site. You can register and you'll become part of our esteemed member of, become an esteemed member of our community. It's really awesome stuff. So thanks again for making this reality. Jimmy, appreciate the request for this coin. We'll look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.